Attention, bobsled riders! You will soon be embarking on a thrilling podcast down the icy slopes of the Matterhorn. So please remain seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the bobsled at all times. Auf Wiedersehen!
Hello, Yodelers. We are the Matterhorn Yodelers. I'm your host today, Japheth, with
Jackie
and
Judge Doom.
There we go. And
Father Yodeler.
And with Peter's clue right there, that gives us a hint what we're going to talk about. We're going to do a movie review.
Dr. Doom, right? Is that what you said?
Judge Doom.
Oh, Judge
He's
Doom.
a judge.
Oh.
So
He's very active in police work, this judge.
Yeah, he's hands-on. Jeez. He's an all-in-one package right there. So then Peter gave us a clue what we're going to do. We're going to do a movie review of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. This movie came out in 1988. Small little fun fact, it was the most expensive movie made that year, surpassing Rambo 3. And it was the second grossing film of that year. Only to be beat out by, anybody know?
Oh, man. It's one of the big ones.
Many numbers. Yeah. Lots of numbers.
Oh, man. What was it?
Rain Man.
Was it Rain Man? Really?
Yep.
Okay.
It was like, this movie made like 300 something, and that one made 300 something. Just beat it by like 20 million, but it costs more for this. And as you watch it, you're like, this
is quite the endeavor. They still talk about how they made this movie, and the effects and the animation was like top notch.
So yeah, this is and so when you say Roger Rabbit, you're like, oh, it's a Toontown. You know, it's a kid movie.
It's not a
is
kid movie.
not
It
a
is a
kid
touchstone
movie.
It's a touchstone film, and when you
PG-13.
watch it, you're like, this is definitely a touchstone film. This is not your dad's or mom's Mary Poppins or bed.
Definitely. I saw that and I said, well, it's got some of Mary Poppins trademarks in it, but this is not Mary Poppins.
Nope.
So I don't remember seeing this in the theater.
Yeah, I took you.
You took me?
Yep.
I just don't remember seeing
Mom
it.
was
Well,
not
you were,
interested
what,
in
like-
seeing it. You were, 3?
I was 3 when it came out.
And, that was probably the first movie that you and I went to. So this was our father-son outing to see Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
And that's the moment I became a man.
Yeah. I was like, my child was in the room while I was watching this, and I was like, I shouldn't watch this around him.
So
There's a lot of adult humor.
there's some where I'm all like, I don't remember that from being a kid. You're like, wow, that
There's
was
definitely a lot of those things that like children won't pick up on, but as adults,
No.
you're all like, "Ooh, that's an adult
You're
joke
like,
right there."
this is a ride at Disney.
Yeah.
They took this.
They were gonna
And
build.
they put it in Toontown?
They were gonna build an entire land at Disney World based on this attraction, based off this movie. So
It's interesting to see them walk that line of like, is this for trying to make it family, but also not your typical
well, the original
Disney cartoon.
like, and you guys talk about like we talk about how like this is definitely not for children. The original source material, the actual book, I forgot what it was called. It was
it's like the curse of.
it was like who murdered or who killed Roger Rabbit, something like that.
No, it's not that. Let's see, what was
I forgot
it?
what it was called, but like that book was like a lot more violent, a lot more sexual references.
The innuendos and
Yeah, like there's a lot more there. But
it's named Who Censored Roger
That's
Rabbit,
it.
There you go.
1981,
right.
where Roger actually dies and the tone is much darker.
Yes.
It was like much darker.
Yes, much darker.
Well, this was definitely not that kind of dark. I mean, it's dark for Disney, but it's not dark.
And you got to think like, what was the movie that were coming out like Oliver and Company, and then you have like Black Cauldron. it's like
This is that era.
it's that era, or the Great Mouse Detective. You know, like there's some
Tron.
there's some darker movies
Yeah.
with the cartoon, and so like we look at it because we're like, well, that's around where Little Mermaid is,
Right.
And
The Little Mermaid comes out the next year, and
Yeah.
you kind of go, is this the beginning of the golden age, or is this still before the golden age of Disney?
I consider it part of the golden
Or
age.
the
Renaissance.
The Renaissance.
I would consider this part of the beginning of the Renaissance, especially with its impact on the company as a whole. Because Roger Rabbit,
that's like the
had-
first
It did
successful
well.
like
it was
movie.
very successful. It was very present in all the parks. Like they put Roger Rabbit front and center.
Yes.
Everywhere for years after this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So like he even got his own ride.
It's interesting because of the success of the Renaissance period, he gets put away.
He gets put away because
All the princesses, Aladdin, Jasmine, Lion King. You're like, yeah, you were there. You had your time. You got your own little theme park. You stay there. All the money makers are over here
Right.
now. And so it's interesting, like, if that period was not as successful, we would have more Roger Rabbit influence. Because the last
yeah.
Roger Rabbit cartoon is like 93,
something like that.
94.
But to understand the movie, you probably need to know that it's Robert Zemeckis that directed it, who did
Back to
Back
the
to the Future and Forrest Gump, and you can definitely see, there's influences
big
both
time.
ways of that this happened in between those movies, and there's a lot of influence there. But yeah, a lot of fun coming from him, but not really Disney fun in a sense.
It's different.
No, it's definitely not. It definitely leans more on the like Ben Avery, like Looney Tune humor.
Yes.
It leaned more on that.
It's
than the
kind of a
Disney
nod
humor.
to an era.
Yes.
Well, it's supposed to happen in the 1940s.
Yeah, and so like think of that, like this movie came out in the 80s, and that's a movie about as it start like it's
happened about
47.
40
It's
years.
post World War II,
Right.
so it's 40 years. You're like, wow, it's like us watching a movie about the 80s.
Yeah.
At this point, you're like, whoa.
Yep.
It's hitting me right now. Like, oh man, that's weird. Because I looked at it and I was like, that's so long ago, and now I'm like, wow, that shifted my little
Yep.
like temporal paradigm I've got there of things right now. So let's give it initial yay or nays. Jackie,
Nay.
Father Yodeler,
If it's just on-off switch
Yeah.
of yeah or nay, it's definitely yay.
Peter.
Yay.
I say yay. All right. So any final thoughts before we go, like kind of scene by scene,
Non-spoilers.
non-spoilers,
Discussion. We can get right into it.
right into it.
Get in.
All right. It starts off with an opening cartoon. Like, how do we like how it starts with Roger Rabbit as the babysitter of Baby Herman and seeing the chaotic Looney Tune kind of comedy?
That's good.
Loved it.
The beginning
loved
was
it.
good.
I thought it was definitely like a callback to the time where they would show the cartoon before the movie.
Yeah.
Like I love that. Like that was great. Like okay, they showed the opening. Like you're watching Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and they jump into a cartoon, and it's like it's like the cartoon before the
We
movie.
get to know about what makes
who
is
Rabbit
Roger Rabbit, like new character
Right.
doesn't exist to us, outside of this story that was made in
It
81.
was interesting. I watched some making ofs for Roger Rabbit, and he talked about the first screening they did of it. The first thing they screened was the opening cartoon, but unfortunately they did it for like a midnight showing full of teenagers, and everybody got up and walked out. And and the
yeah, 'cause-
producers were just like, they were just sweating, going, "Oh man, we spent all this money," and they're walking out.
It was
you
like
know.
$77 million I spent on this. That's a lot of
at
money.
that time. Absolutely.
When
And-
they took a risk on this one for sure. Mm-hmm. I bet they were sweating bullets. They're like, did we?
the animators were sweating bullets about how are we going to get this off? How are we going to pull this
Pull this
off?
off. Mm-hmm.
So we like the opening, the chaos of like Baby Herman trying to get the
Yeah.
cookies and Roger Rabbit, you know.
It brought you back to like old cartoons, how it used to be. The like short, like laugh.
the Looney Tunes
Yeah.
style.
The chaos.
Yep.
Yeah.
I watched before
Every sequence. It's like, oh my gosh, what else could happen?
I mean,
oh my gosh, what else is gonna happen? Oh my gosh, like it just kept escalating and getting
It's-
bigger and bigger.
It's cartoons
and
they
bigger.
don't make like anymore.
No.
They
No,
don't
but
make
before I watched the movie again, I watched the 3 shorts
Right.
that
Shorts
they
first.
made, and they were just fun. They were
Ah,
really
yes.
fun, and I really liked the fact that they had. Ellen Silvestri did the first one that was in the movie, but James Horner did the music for the second, and then Bruce Broughton did it for the two. Great,
Yep.
excellent. The music is just fun, along with all the animation. Great. Love Droopy Dog.
Which I think,
Yeah.
because you can watch all 3 on Disney Plus, right?
Yes.
You can watch all 3.
I was.
Because one of them's in the one's in the movie.
One's in the movie, and then you have
And
2
the
other
2
ones.
that are separated.
Yeah, it kept auto playing
Oh,
because I had watched it this
There's
morning with my
3
little one.
outside of.
there's 3 outside the movie.
There's 3 outside the movie. There's Tummy Troubles. There's the roller coaster one and the camping
The
one.
roller coaster one. I forgot about the roller coaster. I always mix up the roller coaster and the camping one because
They
they're
both
similar.
have similar
it's like- 'cause
scenes.
they do, like, the
the
log
flume
ride,
the
right.
flume ride, yeah, along with the roller coaster. Yeah,
Right.
I said, boy, that's really okay. They really thunk hard on that. Let's do 2 roller coasters in it.
So we go through the whole like opening scene, and then it crashes, and you break away from the cartoon, and you realize it was all on a set, and it was, you know, you have humans beginning to interact with cartoons, and so it kind of breaks that barrier of like cartoon world is the same as real world.
I love that. I love seeing that part where like you take a step back from the cartoon and see the real world outside of the cartoon.
Totally
and
cool.
see the cartoon set. Like that was like
Seamless.
it was amazing. Like it was just like fantastic job with that.
And there we have Eddie, who was on set as well, watching the tunes. Eddie Valentine.
Yeah.
He was. He is a private investigator that's been called to RK Maroon to do an investigation, and we see their conversation. We have Eddie, who's that jaded black noir kind of cop or investigator.
Private investigator.
The private
yeah.
investigator who's just kind of just he's jaded or he's burned out. Later we find out that his brother was killed by a tune, so you get a sense of that skepticism of being around tunes, because tunes are not designed or created to be killers of humans, you know. But in this instance, we find that a tune had dropped a piano on his brother and killed him.
Well,
Great-
it dropped him
great
on
image.
both of them, but it killed his brother.
But it killed his brother.
Yeah.
And so you'll meet, you know, Eddie's personality of just a beaten down man, just barely holding on with a thread.
Alcoholic and
Yeah, and you get that dark sense, and then you have this this conversation with this movie lot owner, RK Maroon,
of a fake studio.
of a
not
fake
real
studio, not a real studio, of to investigate Jessica Rabbit, the spouse of Roger Rabbit. Jessica maybe having a relationship with a competing company, Acme.
Right.
And so he's being called for that. In that scene, you get a sense of like more of the tunes interacting in the studio.
Yeah.
As you see them like prepping for like acting and scripts. We meet Dumbo.
Dumbo makes
Yeah.
it.
He pops up
That's
and-
the first Disney character to pop up.
And you're like, oh, that's familiar. Okay, I'm in a Disney film. And it's really...
Yep. I was shocked to see Brer Bear.
Brer
in there.
Bear he showed up twice.
Yep.
He's in it twice.
And so it's fun to just... It's like the very first like Easter egg,
It's
cameo.
Tons of Easter eggs. Like I didn't realize how big of an Easter egg movie this was. Like besides the characters that showed up, some of the references that they would make. I'm like, oh, there's a reference there. There's a reference there. And so I like that. It was good.
So it makes it fun. So you're in it, and you're really getting more of a solid picture of how this toon movie human world is interacting. And so you've met Roger Rabbit, you've met Eddie, and now Eddie's got his mission. You see him, go to his saloon or his bar that he goes to. You get a sense of like a desperation, more character development as he's speaking to his I guess a love interest.
Yeah.
And gets a more feel of like this we get a very good character development of Eddie within the first like 10-15 minutes.
Right.
Yep.
As opposed to like Tomorrowland where we're spending like an hour before.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh wow, this was good writing.
It was
in my
right
view.
to the point. It was just like, boom, this is what happened, and this is his story, and now you understand. Go.
And it's interesting because I don't like Roger Rabbit. He annoys me. And that I don't like Eddie, but I knew them. And so it's interesting. Like
I understand the Roger Rabbit because before I watched the movie again, I felt the same way about Roger Rabbit. But as I watched it and I got into it, I said, wow, I'm really starting to like Roger Rabbit. I really understanding his character more and getting into deep with it.
He grows on you, but it's interesting where you have two characters that you really aren't supposed to like. And that's kind of a scary move to do in a movie. So you're like, we're going to put your two protagonists and we're going to make them annoying or just not likable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so for some, they may be like, I'm not getting into it because of this.
Yeah.
Well,
Did you get that vibe, Jackie, with like, because you're nay with this.
Yeah, I'm nay.
Were you not into the film within those first few scenes? Did you not get latched on?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Roger Rabbit is annoying. But for me, what really set me off were the jokes.
The jokes?
That really set me off.
Okay.
That I just didn't like.
I don't particularly like the film noir type stories usually. Although I did like the Spider-Man.
You like the
show
Spider Noir?
Yeah, that one came out, was kind of fun. But yeah, I don't really like that genre, so that was kind of a negative running against me. But yeah, the development there was really well done, and the development of the characters and how they interact.
I also felt like they did a really good job of putting you in that time and place.
I was immersed. I
Yeah.
was fully
You
it's the
were-
Art Deco that
I'm
I
in
love.
that era, like they're all talking about like, oh, the street car, the red car, like that's everything to them, like that's transportation. Nothing gets better than that. And they make the joke later, freeway? What the heck's a freeway? No one's gonna drive a freeway.
Get the red car for 5 cents.
Yeah.
And so like it's they did a really good job of putting you in that time and place. For absolutely.
Yeah.
And so he goes to his bar and he gets the camera so he can complete his investigation, as he calls it, like a snoop job, to spy. And so he goes to the Ink and Paint Club. And
Fun.
Best scene in the movie.
oh my gosh, it's my favorite scene as a kid, seeing Daffy Duck and Donald Duck and the dueling piano.
Dueling piano, yes. That was really fun.
Awesome.
Yes.
Oh, did you get there's a Walt Disney reference at the right before. So like he had to say passcode to get in. Do you remember what the passcode was?
What
No.
was it? I forget.
Walt sent me.
Oh, that's right. Walt sent me. That was good. I love the fact that this is like the last real thing that Mel Blanc did. The voice of Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck and so on. He's also the voice of Yosemite Sam, but he was too sick to do the voice of Yosemite Sam, so they had to have somebody else do it.
Well, yeah, he
It's
tore
a
up his
burn.
voice doing that.
Well,
That's a
he's been
rough one.
smoking. He had emphysema and so on. He smoked all his life, like most everybody did at that era. But it's great to see that his voice is there and really comes out
Where
as,
he's
that's
honored
real.
and that
Yeah.
kind of like this cross studio, like project where it's like, we want to do this. Are you guys in? And it's not gonna hurt.
Yep.
And so yeah, I love the Daffy Duck and Donald Duck. I
That
love
was a
seeing
great scene.
Donald with his devil ears as he
Yes.
pulls out the cannon. I was like, yes, that is
I think
classic fun Donald.
that was such a great rivalry with the Ducks.
Yeah.
Just
Yes.
like their personalities are just like the perfect
Perfect.
rivalry.
I
chemistry
wanted-
Whoever
right
came
there.
up with that was great.
I wanted more of that than
Sure.
the actual storyline.
Okay.
I don't want your movie. I wanted cartoon battles.
Yes.
I want Smash Bros. With Disney
that
and
was
Acme.
that was more entertaining.
So you have that battle, and then you get introduced to Jessica Rabbit. She does this kind of like, kind of seductive, kind of time period kind of song. You kind of see like this
It's a
Marilyn
great song.
Monroe.
Oh, I love that song. I like that's on my that's easily on my playlist of songs I listen to. I love that song.
This
Why
is
don't you?
this
do
is
right?
the part of the movie that I
You checked out?
disconnected.
I was blown away with her dress and how it sparkled.
Yes, that
I
was
kept
very
thinking, I was like, how did they
distracting.
do it? Because it's
Yeah.
like, it looks like it was cut out for each scene
Yes.
for her movements. It
Her
doesn't
dress
look like
looked
it's painted at all.
fantastic.
I was like, because the rest of the movie, it doesn't
It's
sparkle
just
like
red.
that.
It's
It's
just
just like
red.
red or like that flat color. But this, I was just like, I was blown away
Yes.
with the skirt
I agree.
dress that she was wearing because it's just like, it's not normal paint.
That's probably what got one of the 4 Academy Awards that it won.
Because you're
for
sitting there
special
going,
effects.
how did you do that?
How?
That's interesting. This is no Mary Poppins kind of like paint job. So that was really cool how everything sparkled and moved at the same
Yeah.
time. So I was, and so you get to meet her, and then like, Eddie meets Acme, and he
Yep.
does the ink.
Yeah, they do. Another good thing they do with this, they do a really good job of placing all the facts where they need to be
To lead the
that
story
at
on.
the end, it all ties together, and it was
All the ends
Fantastic.
The
eventually
writing
get
was good
at
that
the
way.
end.
Yeah.
It all ties together. Yeah, you get the invisible ink, and then Eddie gets the shot of Jessica Rabbit doing patty cake. So it was kind of just
like it was one of those things like you're watching the sequence and you're like, well, this is really inappropriate, and then they cut to the next scene where you actually just see her playing patty cake, and you're just like, oh,
I like the photos
okay.
like he's doing it like it's a cartoon, and you
Yes.
can see her as she was doing patty cake.
Did they
and those
explain
flips.
why she was doing it?
Because he wanted. That's what he wanted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was forced to.
Blackmailed.
She was blackmailed by
Oh.
RK Maroon to
Okay.
do that. So
Because-
that because RK Maroon wanted
He wants his
want,
a share
Acme's-
of
yeah.
the land.
Okay.
he wants him gone, and so that's it was all his plot to get rid of
It's
him.
like studio warfare from back in the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like kind of like gang warfare, mafia warfare, but in their own, work industry. And so
They quickly threw that out there. Jessica Rabbit throws it out there later at the
Because
end of the
he
movie.
was gonna-
She goes, yeah, this is what happened. Da, 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 da,"
Yeah,
and then they
it just
moved
felt
on.
kind of rushed,
So,
and so I missed
it's-
that part. And so I was
you
the
have
whole
to-
time I was like, I don't get why they're doing this.
she's doing it to protect Roger, because if he can't do films, it's going to ruin him.
Yeah.
And so you get her motive why she's doing it. And it was, that happens. And then, Marvin Acme's found dead. And then so Eddie has to go in to do the investigation because
He's
of
part of the case.
because he was
Because they think Roger Rabbit's the one that killed him, and it's because
of the photos.
of the photos that he took.
Because the photos were released in the newspaper the next day, and he was the one that facilitated that. So he's part of it. Plus, he's part of that cop, community
Relationship,
where
yeah.
like they're old pals.
He used to be a police officer.
He used to be a police
Yeah.
officer, and so they're like, "All right, we'll bring you in. You can help us. We'll help you. You help us." Kind of relationship. So he goes there. They go to the crime scene, safe. Right where they have the like chalk outline. You're like, jeez, that's a brutal death. It's like right on his head, like
Yeah.
pointed, safe. And
Right.
then, you see this warehouse that Acme had,
all the gags.
all the gags, and so that sets it up for later in the movie. And then,
You meet the villain.
yes, you meet Judge Doom, and that is
And
unnerving.
it's one of those things that, like, I would compare it to the same presence that Darth Vader gives when he walks out. Like, you go, oh, this is the bad guy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
He's clear.
right
There's no
away,
question.
this is the bad guy.
Like, even the music they play with him, it's just like the air's been sucked out of the room.
Yeah, it's interesting because they have this villain as a meet and greet during the Halloween party.
It's so,
And it's awkward. It's like weirdly awkward, like seeing the video interaction because he's just like how he is in the movie, and so it's very stern and cold.
He should be talking
just like
well, the thing is, like, the first time they did his character in the Halloween party, they actually had him kill the Chew. in
the
dip.
cartoon.
Oh.
Like, they had him be like,
Yes.
this is what we were going to do to
Yes.
the Chews. And he would actually, like, put it in the...
Even Christopher Lloyd's like, that's taking
They
it too
stopped
far.
that the second year.
The second year, the shoes are in a cage behind him.
Yeah.
They didn't. I was like, dang.
sacrifice. Yeah, you meet Judge Doom, and he is paid his way. You get a little bit of his backstory where he's paid his way to be judge over Toontown, where you're like, what kind of crime is going on with Toons?
Right.
And he's got his own posse. You meet his group
The
of
Weasels.
the Weasels, and they have their own personality, and
They're
they have
fun.
that 1930s gangster personalities, just a stereotype of what you would see in a movie of a group, and they're kind of his little henchmen to find Toons. And you learn with Judge Doom is that he will execute cartoons with what is called a dip. It's like turpentine and acetone and benzene.
Yeah.
Which are, it's funny because they say, as a funny fact, is that's how you would clean cells,
Paint.
is with that combination. So it's cool
Which-
how they incorporated that
Yeah.
aspect of the
That's how you kill a
cartoon
tune,
is
you clean
doing
it.
that. So when we see how to draw, when the person's really mad as he pulls that dip and he kills off that whatever characters in that, like, how to not draw, cartoon on Disney Plus. So you meet Doom, and he does what Peter says, sacrifices a shoe in this dip, and it's just unnerving. As Peter said, he is the villain of this film. And so, did you like, Jackie, what was your thoughts with Judge Doom?
He's just like a very cold villain, not like a huge personality, which is an okay approach. I just thought it fell a little flat sometimes.
I think it worked because of the reveal at the end.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you find out that he was playing a part this whole time.
It's like an alien trying to be human.
Correct.
But
It's like that show, Resident Alien. It's exactly like that. Where he's all like, I'm trying to be human.
I understand why he's kind of a flat villain because there's a lot of high energy
Yes.
characters. And so they're
gotta
trying
balance
to
it.
You
balance
need some
it.
heavy character to, like, bring you down. Absolutely. You can't have, like, this, I'm the goofy villain.
Yeah.
Do we ever learn his motivation or why he's
No.
so anti-tune? You don't really
No,
learn that.
And there was just some like missing holes with like the motive and just like
Sure. Well, I think it was about
didn't
money.
get his-
It was about money because
Yeah.
he talks about, he's like, this is the vision where there's going to be highway, like the freeway, and there's going to be gas stations and cheap motels. And it was about like money. Like that was
Yeah.
his motivation.
I think he's like an
I guess
AI
it
that's
just
learned
didn't-
how to become human
Yeah.
through the internet, but he's a cartoon, and he realized, well, money is how you become human and be powerful. And I figured that's what he was always trying to do, is aspire to be human, and he was doing the worst traits of humanity to become human.
I think the storyline
That's
itself
a good take.
was
I didn't look at it like that. That's good.
I think
like that.
for me the storyline was just a little bit hard to follow with so much noise of other things going on. And I get it, they were having like the noise for like the little kids, the comedy aspect, and there were like definitely like good funny moments and noise, but I think it overpowered and took away from the storyline and it lacked.
I don't recommend bringing a 3-year-old to it the first time you watch it.
I was watching with my daughter, and she got into she was all into the initial cartoon, and this is 4:00 this morning. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, boy, I'm surprised. She was locked in, but then when Judge Doom, she's like, no, and she just stepped away.
Scary
She's like,
guy.
I'm playing with my toys at this point.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch this anymore. Yeah, I don't know if it's recommended for a 3-year-old. She liked the
No.
cartoon of Roger Rabbit.
Yep, I think you
The
enjoyed
physical
that part,
comedy was
and then
great.
You kind of went
The
out.
beginning of Roger Rabbit was fine. It was good because it set up well. I think just when they got into that plot and the story, that's when
Too much.
dropped. And then I just didn't like the representation of women. I felt like
Hey, Jackie. She's not bad. She's just drawn that way.
I just think the jokes
This is a great
towards
one. One of the most
women
iconic lines of
in
that
this
movie.
movie
I'm not
was
bad.
really disrespectful.
Oh, it's
and,
derogatory.
and it was very off-putting for me.
Well,
I
I don't
can
know
see
why
that.
three
Three males
said
liked it.
yes, and the one female didn't like it. Well, that sounds racist to me. I don't know.
Okay, it's well, I am a product of my father, so I guess you're just I couldn't help it. No, I'm sorry. So going back to the movie, I hear your point.
Yeah, no,
I agree with
get
you.
it.
I agree
I
with you.
get it. I get it.
As I was watching, I was like, oh boy. I was like,
Yeah, there
There were some things especially with Jessica, that I think they took a step too far.
oh yeah, and
Yes.
in other scenes too, with the love interest with Eddie too.
Yes.
Yes.
So we'll go back. So we meet Judge Doom. He's like, we're hunting Roger because he's the one with the motive. Because he's the one who, this is a passion crime. So Eddie goes back to his place, and that's where we meet him and Roger. Roger feels he's a safe person to go to. Can investigate. He felt that he was the only place. And so you meet this kind of chaotic meeting
Yes.
between the two, and then the posse comes and finds them, and they have to scramble to hide Roger with Eddie because Roger is done his chaotic screw up
And
and handcuffed himself to Eddie, so it was fun.
It was a very fun sequence in the house, in his apartment, where the weasels are looking for him, and he's trying to keep Roger under the water.
they're kicking the soap and it gets in his mouth, and it was just
It brought back that
Mary
scene
Poppins?
brought it back to like the short Looney
The
Tunes.
okay.
humor.
So it went
Yeah.
back to the Looney Tune humor.
Yes.
Okay. I thought it was a fun scene, and it brought them together. And I don't like these two, but these two are like magnets. They work together.
Yes, they absolutely
And I was all
do.
like, and that's when I was watching this morning. I was like, wow, they did a real good job with that. And I was like, in most cases, I would say no.
I think Bob Hoskins did a fantastic job with his role. He killed it.
And how he did all that physical stuff with, working with nothing.
With nothing.
You don't have a
was
green
amazing.
screen guy.
They have of like this doll, this 3-foot doll of Roger Rabbit that he's talking to.
That was in the practice.
In the practice,
but they
right.
take it away at the last
Correct.
scene. But he still has to keep his eyes focused.
He's like,
as
"This is
if
your
it's
mark."
still
That's
there.
hard.
Because a lot of the animators said, I've seen lots of, live action with cartoons, but the eyes never are right.
What,
but
like
this
in,
one they got right.
Like in was it the Three Caballeros ride with the chef? Like,
Well, there's like a scene with Judge Doom where I was like, oh, his eyes are off
Sure.
with this scene, or I was watching the Wizard of Oz movie
Yes.
with James Franco. I was like, oh, he's missing this eye contact with like the CGI, or it's and that's where you go,
It
wow,
puts
he
you
did a
off.
really good job.
he did awesome.
in making
looking at
that
Roger
look
Rabbit.
like the world was together. So at that point, Eddie has to escape his house, They meet the cab, Benny the cab.
Well, I did like the joke that Roger made. Who was like, "How did you find me?" He goes, I asked everyone. They all didn't know you. I asked the grocer, I asked the policeman, I asked this, but the
liquor one
the liquor shop owner, he knew where you were.
So it was kind of funny. We're like, yeah. And so at that point, it makes them where they are stuck together.
Yep.
They are forced together in this, and the only way out is to clear Roger Rabbit. And so you see, okay, there's no like getting away from it. This guy cannot avoid his problems, and so he's in it.
Well, it was because he points out the fact that he's like, somebody's attaching me to this crime here. Something's off.
Yeah.
And that's what's motivating
and
him.
it keeps his mind
somebody's
thinking.
Including me as part of this thing, and I don't like this. And so I'm going to figure this out. And that's what really drives him, is that he's like, why is he a part of it? And you don't really realize why he's a part of it until you get to the end with the reveal with Judge. But, yeah.
And you see that the spidey senses in his PI like brain working. And then there's like what's revealed is that the red cars were bought by this company, and then like just little pieces are planted out there.
Think are relevant, but they are all relevant, which goes into that noir type of storytelling.
And then there's like Jessica pops in and like, confronts Eddie, and that's a kind of like noir kind of interaction where.
Right.
He's hesitant, but she like seduces him.
The pretty girl comes in. You gotta do this for me. Yeah, that. Yep.
It's not me who's doing it, but I can't tell you who's doing this. It's all part of like I'm protecting him, but it doesn't seem like I'm protecting him. Yeah, it just continues to play in that noir kind of style of movie. Then what happens after that? Like.
I think
Roger has to hide.
Roger's hiding at the bar restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Another favorite scene.
Mm-hmm.
The
Fantastic.
shave and a haircut. Love it.
Shave and a haircut.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
It's a Looney Tune cartoon, basically.
Uh-huh. And it's great fun.
He's like, no tune can resist it. And you just see like Roger Rabbit.
Well, it's funny because like everyone else is all like, "This is stupid." Like, what's this guy talking about? And then you see Roger Rabbit like, "I'm dying."
He's twitching of like, I can't resist this. And so knowing a tune, it's like you look back and going, oh wow, he's really like pulling all the stops,
right,
and doing his job to eliminate this. Or to create this patsy for what's going on, and that was a fun scene.
That was a great scene
as they escape and
you also like I think you get more from Judge Doom in terms of like what he's doing, why he's doing it, and like
you see him in action.
You see him
as opposed to like
action.
When you introduce to him and then you see him as the final boss.
Yeah. And so, like, I did like that interaction, like when, they get Roger Rabbit in that sequence and they're trying to put him in the dip and then he drinks alcohol and, like, he freaks out because Roger Rabbit can't handle alcohol. Like, that was a fun sequence as they get away. Like, yeah, like, it was just, and I love the reference to Harvey.
Oh, the Harvey the Rabbit.
The Rabbit.
Yeah.
Which is
here's
an old movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like most people wouldn't even know
Jimmy
what that
Stewart.
was.
Great movie.
But it's just there's a movie. You have it, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's where there's an invisible rabbit that and like that was a great line that I think a lot of people would just be like, oh, he's just making up that he's friends with an invisible rabbit. But yeah, I thought that was a great Easter egg there.
And then there's a scene where
Roger
Rabbit
Easter egg like that.
Yeah.
Roger Rabbit and Eddie are at the movie theater.
Yes.
And you get more like bonding between the two of them, and they come up with this plan
I
Where
like the comment. It was like, "Oh, Goofy, he's the best in the business."
Yep.
he knows how to sell it,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like a nod from one cartoon to another.
Yeah.
And the
It's
craft.
even fun when Jessica Rabbit tells him, "Oh, you're better than Goofy."
You're even better than Goofy. Yep. I picked
A
up
true wife, just the lie to build up that ego. So yeah, they come up with that plan where they're gonna go to RK Maroon and say they have the will because that's what everyone's looking for is Acme's will because that will determine who
owns
gets Toontown. And 24 hours after his death, he's like, they get their litigation done so quickly.
It's the 40s,
When you die, your lawyer better be on
Ready.
call because we need to read that will immediately before it goes to your arch enemy. So Maroon wants
The
this
movie had to happen. That's why.
Boy, they I mean, it's an hour and 44 minutes. Boy, they really try to jam as much as they can in that. Eddie confronts Maroon, and Eddie kind of is trying to trick him with that. Oh, I've got the will, but you can't see it. And then there's a confrontation between the two of them where Maroon pulls out a gun, but there's a fight. But then this very long cartoonish barrel is pointed at them as they're in this scuffle and kills Maroon as he was paranoid that he was being hunted as well. And before Maroon dies, he explains what's really going on. And so Eddie gets a full feel of like, okay, this is the situation, of like there's these big hands in play with trying to take Toontown so they can put in freeways for cars to get rid of these street cars and kind of just poke it like, LA used to have these electric cars and used to have a good transportation system, and then it turned into a car city, and car cities are hard to maneuver, if you don't have one. So, like, you get the big picture of it. Maroon dies, and then Eddie goes look out the window, and you see Jessica Rabbit run away. Roger was supposed to be on lookout. He gets hit with a frying pan, and Jessica takes him and goes to Toontown. Now, Eddie has to enter in Toontown.
Which he hasn't been in since
his brother has died, yeah. And so you go there, and boy, that woke me up seeing.
That was too much.
I thought that was great because it was that like transition because up to this point it's been
dark.
really heavy and really dark. And it's like, all right, I'm going to go into the Toontown to hunt down this killer. I'm going to go get Jessica Rabbit because that's what he's going to go do. And so he goes in there and it's all like, smile,
but
darling.
it's like when
it's like, whoa.
At 5 a.m, it goes a bit for me. I was like, whoa.
Sure.
It was like you're in a dark room and then it's like a bright sun outside and you're just like, ugh, this is too much.
Well, even for him, like, you even look at him and he's just like, okay, yeah, it's been a while.
It's sobering
and
for
I think
anybody.
they wanted the big contrast there.
Huge contrast.
I mean, we've seen cartoons in the real world. Now we're seeing a human
in the cartoon
world, which was hilarious of all the things nonsensical things he has to deal with that way. I thought that was another high point.
Yes. I thought it was good.
There was a fun scene that I glossed over was the Jessica Rabbit shoots. Oh, no, that's later in there. That's in there. Yeah, but there was a fun scene where he has a gun and it's a cartoon gun.
Yes.
And he has the different bullets.
And they have the classic cowboy voices in there.
Yep.
I forgot their names, but
there was one that just passed away recently.
They are
every
like
cowboy,
all of those
old
cowboy movies. They're in Back to the Future. They're in all those yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, Eddie chases him in. He sees the silhouette and he goes, "That's Jessica Rabbit." Goes up into the building.
It's not Jessica Rabbit.
It's not Jessica Rabbit. It's something more obnoxious than Jessica Rabbit and Roger Rabbit. But you meet Deputy Dog.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And he was fun, on loan from Paramount.
That was great. That was one of my favorite sequences as a kid.
The elevator?
It was the elevator scene. Going up, sir.
And hence he goes to the Tower of Terror.
Yeah, who would have thought? That's where I ended up.
And then we also get to meet, Eddie goes up and he is falling from a building and he meets... Who else? Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny in the same film. It's just like, whoa! It's as if like Batman and Iron Man met.
When, like,
you know.
what, Mickey Mouse says a line that I was like, I don't think I'll ever hear Mickey Mouse ever say that again. It was like, oh, that's gonna kill you, or something like that. I was like, whoa, okay.
So like there was a deal made because like they wanted to have Bugs Bunny in it. Well, they're like, well, Mickey's gonna be in it. They're like, well, the deal is you can only have Bugs Bunny as long as Mickey doesn't have more lines than Bugs Bunny.
And same amount of time, too.
And the same amount of time, screen time.
So
and
they put
that's
them in
why
the
they were
same
in
film.
the same
Same
sequence. And they like they have the same number of lines and then the same amount of time so that no contract issues took place.
They didn't want to push, like, this was you got to think, to relinquish IP for one film, they're like, we're going to play by the rules. We all want to play. Everyone good? All right, cool.
Yeah.
Let's play. And they did. So, yeah, there's a chase scene, once Eddie survives falling down from the building. I love the spare. I want a spare. I don't think you want a spare. And I was like,
Like,
oh,
give him
classic
the spare.
Bugs Bunny
Yeah.
right there. I was like, this movie took me back to my childhood because my childhood cartoons of watching those don't exist. And so it was just fun to go into that world again and see Bugs Bunny, do a Bugs Bunny kind of like clip. I thought it was a lot of fun for me. And then we're taken into a dark alley where he's chasing Jessica Rabbit, but Jessica Rabbit's pointing a gun, but tells him to turn around, and it's really Judge Doom. And so we get the scene like, okay, it is official. Judge Doom is no doubt the bad guy at that point. And so there's that chase to the Acme factory, the warehouse, and where the final boss battle takes place, where Jessica Rabbit and Roger Rabbit are tied up. And so Eddie has to do this epic dance to kind of like...
Well, like throughout this whole thing, they've kind of laid this theme about laughter. Laughter was like the most important aspect of this story. Like it was a big deal with the weasels. You can't laugh. You're going to die laughing if you start laughing. Look what happened to the hyenas. Like they kept talking about how, like,
one hyena died.
Right. And so like they kept talking about how like laughter is the most important weapon a toon has is laughter.
There is that one scene in the bar where the one guy, he's like, he's going to rat you up for 5 cents. But he goes, no, I made him laugh. Well, like, we've got a bond.
Right.
And there was that, and he did follow through. He did the Harvey, the rabbit joke.
Right.
And he goes, see, I told you he is going to, stick up for me. Because he put on a boil, you're going to $5,000 reward. Back then, they made a big old stink about $100. Like, $5,000 buys you a house, a car, a whole new life right there. And the guy chose to not do it because Roger, brought life into that bar and entertaining people in what could be a really dreary, dive bar situation.
And so it was all of a sudden Eddie had to like change because like it was known before with the backstory of his brother, like, he used to be a little jokester. He loved having fun. That's
you get that in the pictures of the Catalina trip.
And that's why he was a cop in Toontown, because he loves going to Toontown. And so it was him letting go of his grief and him moving forward and embracing who he really was to begin with. And so I'm going to be the comedic thing because I know this is the weasel's weakness, is I'm going to be funny and do silly things to make them laugh and kill themselves
So it was
laughing.
fun to see him be the comedian.
Consider like how serious of an actor he is. Like to see him do stuff like that was great.
It was a lot of fun, and how the weasels all died in the slapstick physical comedy. Mm-hmm. That was fun. And then to see their ghost.
The ghost, yeah.
And I like how the one, he pulls the lever as he's dying. He's like, ow! Bye-bye.
Yeah.
There was the anticipation of the dip getting to Roger and Jessica. Like, you had that, like, panic of, like, oh, no.
The anticipation.
This could be their doom if Eddie doesn't do it. So it kept you in there. And then there's this epic battle between Judge Doom and Eddie. And then the eyeballs.
That was a great fight. I love their fight. Like, their duel that they had. the swords and the magnet and like the glue.
It's
and
witchcraft. The Frank
the
Sinatra
singing
sword.
Yeah.
It was fun. And then you get to see, Judge Doom is a cartoon and he's the Toon that killed his brother. And so you're like, yes, he's going to get the revenge that he needed, or wanted. The closure. And that was fun. And just to hear Christopher Lloyd scream as he's going through the dip as it's built on him.
That wasn't as traumatic as watching him get steamrolled.
Yeah.
I was watching it, I was like, because at this
graphic.
point you don't know he's a Toon. You don't know he's a Toon yet. You're just watching this human.
As a kid,
going,
you're like, this is unnerving.
It was a bit strong, yes.
That was and he does the whole like Toon like blow up his like finger, and he's like, bloop.
He's like, you remember it, and I killed your brother. I sounded just like that. Oh man, that was like,
and the
such
beady eyes too.
The beady eyes, and then like the whole like his hands and saws. Like that was like a very intense moment. Like I was just like, even as an adult,
It
I was
pushes the envelope of like, as a parent, you're like, do I want to keep watching this with my kid? Because this is pretty intense. This like, you're waiting for it to be 3D and to like cut right into him with what he was doing.
It felt like it was a 3D film at that point.
So it all resolves. Judge Doom
dies.
He dies in the dip, and I like his little scream at the end.
Oh, wah, wah! Oh, wah, wah! Yeah.
It's poetic justice. He dies by what he used to kill other Toons, and Toontown is redeemed. It's saved because it was invisible ink.
It was in disappearing, reappearing ink.
Yeah. And I could see where it's like, oh, of course it does. It all wraps up in the end, right? But it was fun to see all the cartoons come out. One last hurrah of this joint venture that will never happen again.
Yeah.
And then it ends.
Ends with Porky Pig. That's all, folks.
That was fun.
And Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell, they gave them both the ending.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Little nod to like who closes. Any thoughts? Any other things that you enjoyed as we've gone through this movie?
I thought, I know you didn't really enjoy the story, Jackie, but I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the music. The music was amazing.
Who did the music, Dad?
Alan Silvestri.
What else has he done that's more notable?
Back to the Future.
Okay.
There's a lot of connection to Back to the Future
yes.
with this movie. There's a lot of actors, a lot of, Christopher Lloyd. I think he did a fantastic job as the villain of this.
Here's a fun fact. He doesn't blink at all in this film. Not once.
That's why he's always wearing like sunglasses, so that you don't see
and
him
so
blink.
like in every scene I was like, I read that before I watched it. I was like, he's not blinking, but it's like short films because he's a Toon, he doesn't have to blink, he doesn't have that. He's wearing fake eyes, and so you don't have to blink because of the dryness of it. So I was like, wow, that was well. Like Christopher Lloyd always blows me away when you watch his performance.
And this is like, he's on a high with Back to the Future. He did Star Trek. He did this. Like, he was on like a roll.
Yep, definitely. He was everywhere during
that time.
The mid 80s to the end.
So, like, yeah, he did awesome. I was laughing. And I've seen this movie so many times, and I'm still laughing at a lot of the jokes. My favorite joke that I laughed the hardest at was the whole sequence where, he's cutting the handcuffs off.
Oh, yeah.
And he gets out, and then Roger, he's like, sit still. Like, I'm trying to hacksaw these handcuffs off. And he steps out, and he goes, you're telling me you could have gotten out of these handcuffs this whole time? And he goes, not the whole time. Only when it was funny.
That's great line.
He delivered it. He's like, he says
perfect.
it's so serious. He's like, no, I couldn't always do it. Only when it was funny.
And it makes perfect sense. Makes
that's
perfect
his
sense with the
whole
movie
MO.
too.
I just that line was, I was just like, oh, that was beautiful line right there.
Make me appreciate Roger Rabbit more than I have in the past year.
See, when I watched it, like, hearing you guys talk about it, I'm like, I missed all of this. And I think this movie is just for a certain type of sense of humor and a certain individual that, like, knows movie references and knows, like, the older cartoons and such.
Yeah, Betty Boop. Like, I was
Yeah,
like,
Betty
oh,
Boop.
I was like, no kid knows who Betty Boop is.
No.
Like, it was just like us 90s kids, 80s. We know Betty Boop because she, like, pops in around pop references
Yeah.
and stuff, goes along with that Marilyn Monroe kind of
Right.
icon of being, like, a sexy figure. But I was like, no one beyond
one's
millennials knows who Betty Boop is.
Nope.
I don't think it's for a lot of people, it's not a one and done movie. You need that second time
To pick things up.
To pick things
Because
up.
there's a lot of
there
little
is
details
a
everywhere.
lot.
I
to
And if
throw
you
out
missed
there.
it, you
noticed
said,
things
like,
this
there's some things that just missed.
I was just like, I've been very quiet this podcast because I'm just listening to everything, and I'm like, oh, I didn't catch that, I didn't catch
The
that, I
first-
didn't catch any of this.
The first time I saw it, I didn't either. Of course, I was watching it with a 3-year-old.
It's
in a
tough
movie
watching with a
theater.
3-year-old. I know.
Sorry. So there's a lot of it I didn't catch.
But also, I don't know, that could be a good thing and a bad thing, because it may not get everyone's attention to rewatch it. But I think this movie's a time, like, it was for its time. It's not, it doesn't hold up to today.
It's not going to translate as well as it did.
today.
Yeah.
And
A younger generation
it doesn't
may not-
relate to today's younger generation because they just don't make cartoons like this anymore. They don't make, like, the short, like, gotcha cartoons.
I mean, they did with, like, the new Mickey cartoons.
Yeah, I would say so.
Because that was the closest I
more of a
saw to,
callback.
like,
Yeah.
watching, Mickey have personality.
But, like, other studios don't really make cartoons like this.
No, because the characters that they did have were for jokes that are not accepted now.
And, like, Bugs Bunny. Not a lot of kids know who Bugs Bunny is.
Bugs Bunny would not be accepted in today's
Right.
society.
And honestly, I think this movie, I'm surprised the attraction still exists at Disneyland. And this movie is like one viral video away of being canceled.
Wow. Pretty harsh.
And it's just the
Worse
reality.
than Song of the South, huh?
Yeah, it's kind
It's
of
got
up
Brer
there.
Bear in it.
It's got Brer Bear in it. It's got to get canceled.
But,
Any
like,
reference to that movie.
I think it's like, it's up there of could be being canceled.
Yeah, it's. I mean, Jessica Rabbit's character alone is misogynistic.
I mean, the fact that, like, on the
It's a
ride
stereotype
that
of the-
they like literally like, let's put a code over her on the attraction
Sure.
now and stuff. So, like, Disney's aware, like, the line that they're dealing with on this one.
Oh, so
It was Touchstone. It was not a Disney
and I
film when it
get
first
it.
came out.
I think this film is good for some people, and for others, it's like, I don't get it. I'm gonna move on with my life. And that was just kind of how it was with me.
I think what's good about this movie is that we didn't know it at the time, but it is a really good farewell to a time period.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
when I remember watching as a kid, I'm like, oh, this is great, because I'm seeing the Looney Tune cartoons still on my Saturday morning cartoons. There are no more Saturday morning cartoons. Cartoon Network probably has this at Cartoon Channel at night. You know how Nick at Night is? They probably do that with some of these classic
I don't
cartoons.
think Cartoon Network is even a network anymore.
They may
I think
not.
It's gone.
And so, like, you have these old cartoons. You have to search for them on these streaming devices. Like, when I pulled up, I was like, all right, RO. And it's like, it's not even in the top, like, list for Disney Plus.
Right.
Until I hit that G, and I was like, oh, there it is.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, it's not even held up really in compared to the other cartoons that are there, even though it's wildly more successful financially, and it has its own ride
And the ride
influence
does
it.
well. Like, there's always a long line for the attraction.
But it's one of those, like, is this just a movie like Song of the South, where it's just like, it's just not going to be promoted. It's just in the park.
Yeah.
And just like, hey, just have fun with the ride. You know, forget that there is a movie. I don't know if Disney's trying to do that. It's not Disney vaulted like the Song of the South was, but yeah, there's some things
It's
now
on that border where you're just like,
the thing is,
this could
there's
be.
so much other content out there that's on the same touchstone thing.
Yeah.
The only reason why Song of the South gets targeted because it has the Walt Disney Pictures brand on it.
Yeah.
Roger Rabbit won't because it has the touchstone.
It got a pass.
It gets
in
a
that.
pass because this is not for children. This is not Disney.
Because it was PG-13, right?
It's PG-13.
No, it's
Yes.
PG.
No, it's 13.
What's it say, Dad?
PG. On Disney Plus, it's PG.
PG.
Ooh, Jackie called it.
Because I remember I saw this, I was like, this is PG.
No, it's not PG. It's definitely
This is-
PG-13.
And Mark
maybe
was
14.
like, they had some flexibility in
well,
the
this
80s.
was also in that age where PG-13 wasn't a thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
PG-13. Just if it
Just
was
began.
out,
Raiders of
it
the-
just began.
Raiders
and
of
so-
Lost
Temple of
Ark.
Doom.
Temple of Doom.
Doom.
Temple of Doom was the first PG-13.
yeah.
But, I mean, for a cartoon, a PG cartoon is racy. You
Yes.
know, that's that at
Correct.
that time period. That's like, ooh, you're telling me it's not safe for my children to go see.
Correct.
But I took.
What
my
kind of
3-year-old.
dad are you, Dad?
I'm sorry.
Yes,
And
there's.
so I think that can be misleading to parents today.
Sure.
Yes, I would be wary of showing it to my 6-year-old right now,
Yeah.
just because there's just because of like the scary scenes at the end of the movie.
Sure. Yeah.
Because like a lot of the jokes are just gonna go over her head.
Yep.
And like they went over my head as a kid.
Yep.
Because we watched this movie quite a bit on VHS
Growing up,
It
absolutely.
was always on TV at some
and
point.
stuff too. Yeah, and so like I remember watching it and I thought it was just
and
a
they were
fun
also
venture.
part of pulp culture. Like Jessica Rabbit was
Yes.
like
It
a
wa-
big thing about pulp culture, and Disney was pushing Roger Rabbit as like up there with Mickey
we have
Mouse.
edginess. Look, like Jessica Rabbit was the modern Betty
Yep.
Boop.
Yep.
And then just like the internet just changed things at that point. And I
Yeah.
think that's where this may have gotten lost.
And I think you get that continuation of that story with the Rescue Rangers movie.
I thought the Rescue Ranger movie was good. And it definitely gave like vibes of Roger Rabbit, but a different tone.
Yeah, the new Rescue Ranger film that came out, like
Yeah.
2021, something like that.
Yeah.
That was fun because it brought all of them together, and it's like, they're trying to do a Roger Rabbit thing,
Right.
And also show how cartoons have changed, and like,
Right.
Yes.
oh, you have to perform a seizure to become 3D, and I thought that was hilarious. And
Right.
so when I watched that film, I got the feeling of Roger Rabbit, and I think that is a good point where like that movie was good for 2020 to talk about the last 20 or 30 years of cartoons, and like Roger Rabbit was really addressing the last 40 years of cartoons, and it's a good like sign off to that period because
Right.
those studios were no longer fighting for the cartoon war that was happening from like the 50s and 60s and 70s for television, and so it is a kind of a nod to farewell.
I agree with you. I think it does a good job of saying that farewell to the way things were done, and then that led right into the renaissance of this is now the new way of doing things. This is the new way of animation.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
All right, let's give Mickey bars. Let's go with you, Father Yodeler.
Okay, so
Freaky
I'm-
Friday level.
I'm also looking at it from the point of view that this is a Robert Zemeckis film.
Yep.
Felt like a Robert Zemeckis film.
yes, it did.
It had Alan Silvestri doing the music, same person who did Back to the Future. It's got Christopher Lloyd in it, and a lot of things familiar with Back to the Future. And having just coming off seeing Back to the Future, and when you compare this to it, it's a down. It's Back to the Future is way better.
So this product, and compared to his other products, is
It's
less than.
less than, and if you go further to Forrest Gump, again, Between the three, it's going to come in third place.
Didn't he do Home Alone?
No.
No,
it
that's
was
somebody else.
Columbus, yeah.
Okay.
Same guy who did the first Harry Potter movie.
Oh, okay.
Even watching it then, I had a lot of high hopes that it was going to be, oh wow, this is the guy who did Back to the Future. We've got all the cartoons in there, and Christopher Lloyd's in there and everything. And then when you see it, it's you can't help but go, it's not. It's not Back to the Future or anything like that. So it gets it down there. But as far as technical things and achievement,
Oh my gosh, they did so much.
it's a 5 Mickey bar, but in the entertainment value, I might only give it a 3 overall, probably a 3+ for it on the overall. But should people see it again? I'm saying for technical reasons.
I mean, if you're a big movie buff, yeah, probably.
You should see it because it's an achievement. It was an achievement to do this. This is something I don't know that you'll see anywhere else.
Yeah, I think the closest we got is the Rescue Ranger film. And
So-
it's still, that story, I don't think holds up as well as this one does.
I agree.
And I said kind of a similar thing when we reviewed Tron, the original Tron, is that, this is way more entertaining than Tron was, but because of was so unique for its time, you should watch it for that part
It's
of
technical
it.
feat.
But if you're just looking for the right movie, you go see Freaky Friday.
All right, Jackie, what's yours?
I'll give it a 2. It has good moments. There's good clips in it. There was times I did laugh, but this movie's just not made for me. I think there are people that love like the 80s films, the 80s vibes, and this is definitely like that type and movie for those type of individuals.
Those boomers and Gen X would,
But
that grew up in that 80s era, yeah.
it doesn't hold up. I will not go back to watch it.
Would you ever let your son watch that movie?
Well, he kind of watched it with me,
But
so
he's only 2. He's not really going to remember.
I will not.
You're not going to be like, oh, let's show you this movie.
And mainly because of the crude jokes and the disrespect to women.
I'm glad I grew up in the 90s. My dad would take me to the film. Mostly because he wanted to go see it. All right, Peter, what do you got?
5 out of 5.
Whoa! He's pinnacle.
This is his Freaky
This is
Friday.
absolutely Freaky Friday, Rocketeer, absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
I will watch this movie once or twice a year.
Wow, really? Have
Yes.
you been doing that?
Yes.
Oh,
It
wow.
sounded
at least once
as
or
he was
twice
talking
a
about
year.
it. He sounded like he was
Yes.
talking, like he's like he
You
just
can
knew it.
hear the enthusiasm.
There was
and-
there's just a
love this
love
movie.
coming from his tone of his voice.
It's such a fun adventure, and the music's great, and just the jokes. I still laugh. I get that like it's a product of its time, and I get that people in today's audience might feel offended or upset about certain jokes or whatnot. I get it. It's a product of its
but
time.
not Peter.
Again,
I'm able
this
to-
movie
I'm able
was
to
kind
take
of your generation kind of humor.
Well, think about it. He's also a Tower of Terror guy. And
He
that's
loves
kind
that
of in that
1940s.
time period.
Yes.
I was never a film noir type of person, so
I just thought-
I'd give it a notch down just because
I just
of that.
thought the writing was so good. Like the way they planted the seeds throughout the whole movie and you not drawing the connection. I hate when they're like, oh, what's the mystery? What's the mystery? And then they reveal some important detail at the very end that had not been brought up before. And it's just like,
Yeah,
oh.
the reveals were really well. The
reveals are
writing was
so-
really good.
It's so well written and it's still enjoyable today. I get that there's going to be some people that don't like it because of the crude humor. There is a lot of crude humor. I get it. And some people call it the little poop in the cookie. and that's a story for another.
It's kind of like the Great Mouse Detective with the whole bar singing scene.
Yes.
Where you're like, this is a cartoon. You're like, as an adult, as a kid, you're like, oh, that's a fun song. As an adult, you're like, whoa, like, who let that one through? That one. And like, as you said, that's a little poop in the
little poop in the cookie.
Where you're like, oh, we got to skip ahead on this one.
and I get that. There are sequences where I go, oh, yeah, I missed that, where he bumps his head on his
where do you
on her
draw
boob,
the
yeah.
line? Where do you draw the line? Or do you just keep one eye closed just because the other parts are good?
You're trying to make me, go to my
I'm
bishop
just
and
saying.
repent.
No, I'm just saying.
I saw Roger Rabbit.
I'm just
Say 12
saying.
Hail Marys.
I'm just saying in general. Where do you draw the line? This is just hypothetical.
Yeah. No, I mean, this
compared
push boundaries, yes.
Compared to other things I have seen,
Sure.
it's pretty tame. I'm going to be completely
but for
honest.
PG, it's
a
be very
product-
cautious.
Correct. I'm not telling, hey, go sit your 8-year-old in front and watch. No, don't do that. I'm not saying let your children watch this movie. But as an adult, I enjoyed the movie. It was fun. And yeah, some of the jokes were a little racy. But what movie doesn't have racy jokes?
There's a reason why we don't have Aladdin cartoons from the 90s on Disney Plus. Just because of all the pop culture references that they did, and some of them are like, ooh, yeah. I could see why that stayed back in the 90s and didn't make it into Disney Plus. Yeah, it's just...
But that's just me.
No,
I'm willing to look past
individuals.
That and,
It's for certain individuals.
I think if you're a fan, if you're a fan of like old Disney history and that the
pop culture reference of just being
movie
Toontown
culture
as it is.
and all of that.
That is an absolute.
This is the
you
movie.
have to see this movie.
Well, again, yeah, it's again for film history type things.
Yes.
This one is important. It's not just any other film,
right?
And if you miss it, this is an important part of film history. And
like
so
that's
on.
why it's like I don't see this movie ever being canceled. The fans will never let this movie
it's like
be
Dick
canceled.
Tracy. Dick Tracy's the same way. Where
agree.
it's
Pomegranates.
very artistic. Very artistic.
You could say whatever you want, but, pomegranates.
That's my secret.
What? All right, I'm going to give this a 3.75 to 4. I could never decide if it's quite a 4,
range.
but like I can watch this like at least every 2 years. Like if to be a 5 for me, I have to watch it every year.
Yep, that's fair.
And this one, it's like I watch it and I'm going, that was good.
I don't know. If I watch Freaky Friday every year, it might not be.
Everyone's got a different,
anymore,
but for me, that's my 5. Is like, if it pops up, I will sit down and watch it. Like Forrest Gump or The Rocketeer. If it's on TV, it will stop whatever I'm doing and I will watch it for what it is. And this movie, I don't actively seek it out, but when it does turns on, I'll watch it. And I watched it. I mean, considering I was only on like 4 hours of sleep and watching this, it kept my attention until like the last scene where obviously I'm laying down. I'm going to close my eyes out of just pure exhaustion.
That's when I went to sleep in the evening when I was watching it. I had to watch that the next day, the last scene.
It's just, I didn't quite make it to that, the battle with the weasels, and then I woke up and they're all like singing their song of farewell. But I enjoyed it. And I was surprised, actually, how much I still enjoyed the film. That it wasn't just childhood nostalgia, like, oh, this is great. And then you watch it and you're like, oh, like, probably if you watch like a Lizzie McGuire film where you're
it's different.
Yeah, you're like, this needs to stay in my childhood and I'm not going to ever watch this. No, this one I can take out of my childhood and still enjoy it as an adult because it has layering beyond the childhood physical comedy that Roger Rabbit and other cartoons would bring. And so, all right. Any last thoughts before we close this up?
No, I don't
think you guys
so.
all did a really good job in explaining your guys' points.
Yep.
All right. For if you guys enjoyed Roger Rabbit, let us know your thoughts. If you thought there was a line crossed, let us know about that. We always like hearing from our listeners. You can reach out to us on our social medias. And we really love to hear from you. With that being said, Auf Wiedersehen.
Remain seated, please.
Yodelers.
It's time for another Yodeler original song inspired by this week's episode.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Walt sent me. We need a little chaos. Send in the tunes. Don't be a weasel. Call in the tunes. There's Adam Ant, Bugs Bunny, and Captain Caveman, Donald Duck, Fred Flintstone, and Gabby, Huckleberry Hound, Itchy Itchford, and Judy Jetson. Catty Cats, Lord Licorice, and Mickey Mouse, Nancy Nutcracker, Olive Oil, and Polly Purebred. Isn't she sweet? Roger Rabbit, Strawberry Shortcake, and Tennessee Tuxedo. Vladimir Vanya, Vanitsky Vasilovich, and Woody Woodpecker. Invite Judge Doom and mix them all up with turpentine, acetone, and benzene. And what do you get? Shave and a haircut, 2 bits. Shave and a haircut, 2 bits. That's not enough chaos. Send in more tunes. There's Bambi, Betty Boop, and the Big Bad Wolf, Brer Fox, and Brer Rabbit, Clarabelle Cow, Daffy Duck, and Daisy Duck, Droopy, Dumbo, and Elmer Fudd, Foghorn, Leghorn, Goofy, and Horace Horse Collar, Hyacinth, Hippo, Jiminy Cricket, and Minnie Mouse, Pete, Pinocchio, and Pluto, Porky Pig, Snow White, and the 7 Dwarfs, Doc, Happy, Grumpy, Sneezy, Bashful, Sleepy, and Dopey, Sylvester, Tweety, and Yosemite Sam. Invite Judge Doom and mix them all up with turpentine, acetone, and benzene. And what do you get? What do you get? Shave and a haircut, 2 bits. Shave and a haircut, 2 bits. Shave and a haircut, 2 bits. Mix them all up with turpentine, acetone, and benzene. And what do you get? Shave and a haircut, 2 bits. Shave and a haircut, 2 bits. Shave and a haircut, 2 bits. 2 bits, 2 bits. 2 bits, 2 bits. Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of the Matterhorn Yodelers. Please remember, before your bobsled comes to a complete stop, to follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
And remember, remain seated, please.
Permanecer sentados, por favor.